Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to Dark Souls 1. This is part 3 of our Greataxe run, which we made really good progress yesterday. At least it feels like it. We met a new NPC, we got a Lord Vessel, we got a Lord Soul Shard, found a new Covenant, got a new achievement, and I mentioned starting the next part with Moonlight Butterfly, so with 8 Estus, that's what we're doing now. And I'll let this fight play itself out. Considering we 3-shot them, maybe we're a little over prepared for this. I mean, just as a general rule, you probably shouldn't be fighting 4 kings before Moonlight Butterfly, but hey, that's just how things panned out. Because we didn't need the Divine Ember until now. Still don't, but we beat him with the Greataxe plus 15, the Dragon Crest Shield plus 2, Boots of the Explorer, Hovel's Ring, Ring of Favor and Protection, and 1 sip of the Estus because we came in with 8. And we beat him at level 60 with 25 Vitality, 35 Endurance, 32 Strength, 13 Dexterity, 11 Resistance, and we beat him first try. And with this little side excursion out of the way, we homeward bone back and go to our next location, which is going to be Quail Domain, because, I mean, we just decided to do this one next without any real reason to it, but we need 30 humanity. We had 1, and we've got plenty of items for it, so we pop all of those, enter the Covenant, which makes us lose out on what we had before, but I think that's just the Dark Raids, which I don't care for. And then we offer humanity, drop a full 30 for a second Pyromancy I don't care about this run and won't be using, but more importantly, to get the shortcut to save Solaire. And having done that, we are now free to head on off to Demon Ruins. Which, while coming on down, I noticed those guys, and it made me, like, it reminded me that they drop a Greataxe, which one of the arbitrary rules I've come up with is having to get every single weapon in the weapon class. So we could grind it off of them, or grind it off the ones down below, because the ones down below actually respawn. But in a previous run, I did a lot of grinding, and I don't feel like doing it now, so there is a second method to get it, but it'll cost some souls, but that's worth it to avoid grinding. And while coming on down, we got this little boyo, which normally I kill him with, like, a bow or something, but I figured we do good damage. I might as well give it a try, but they attack faster than us and have a whole lot more range than us and do a lot of damage. So I figured, okay, back to the bow or crossbow method. Only problem with that is we don't have the arrows or the bolts to deal with it. So I figured, well, maybe we have some throwables, like consumables, which I was thinking about throwing knives, but we didn't have nearly enough throwing knives for that. So I looked at dung pies and I went, well, dung pies have been useful for us before. So maybe they'll be useful again? We have to wait as to not toxic ourselves, but 3 dung pies later, and they're taking damage. Which, nice. Now, I'm normally not a fan of consumables, and I very rarely use them, but dung pies have proven themselves useful on a few occasions, so they've definitely proven their worth as one of the very few consumables that I actually use. Not super often, but every once in a while. But I figured this is probably going to take a bit, and it took like 2 or so minutes. But after a bit of waiting, little sightseeing, it goes down, and we get free access to the bonfire. And from there, we're free to head on off to the Demon Fire Sage. Which, just take note, 10 Estus, no shield because we don't need it. We head on in, and I will let this fight play itself out. Demon Fire Sage down. Now, take note, go back and rewatch it if you need to. There was a series of 8 attacks where 7 of them were the same exact attack, that anime side slash AoE. And Demon's Fire Sage can be pretty fun as long as they use that attack in moderation. But they usually don't, which really hinders the fun. But anyways, Greataxe plus 15, Boots of the Explorer, Ring of Steel Protection, Ring of Favor and Protection, 1 sip of the Estus, and we beat him at level 61 with 25 Vitality, 36 Endurance, 32 Strength, 13 Dexterity, 11 Resistance, and we beat him first try. And from there, we can head on, and while coming back up, I realized, after leveling up Endurance, that we can now use the chest piece. Like with the Greataxe, the shield, the chest piece, the pants, Hovel's ring, favor and protection, and 37 endurance. We can now have the chest piece. and still light roll. Which, if you look at 37 endurance compared to 25 vitality. So I may have been over investing in endurance, but I was very fixated on the idea of being able to have the entire armor set. This may or may not go poorly in the future. We'll have to see. But heading on down, 10 Estus, we head on in to the next boss, Centipede Demon. And with that being said, I will let this fight play itself out. And Centipede Demon down. Which, kind of surprising that didn't take any Estus. And the RNG wasn't terrible this time, so good. Happy with that. And we beat him with the Greataxe plus 15, Dragon Crest Shield plus 2, chest piece and pants of the Adventurer set, Hovel's Ring, Ring of Favor and Protection, and 0 Estus. And we beat him at level 63 with 25 Vitality, 38 Endurance, 32 Strength, 13 Dexterity, 11 Resistance. And we beat him first try, which, nice. And heading on down all the way through with Lost Izalith. Last time, Siegmeyer here died to a single attack. So I figured we're gonna need to be speedy on this one and go in before he does and kill this thing before he even gets here. Which we didn't do that, but it was going to attack him. We hit it. It turned to attack us. Missed everyone, so didn't go quite as planned, but he survived. So I will take him surviving any day. And I mean, we're here. We might as well just go take on Bed of Chaos, because why not? The main part of the boss is the run over to the boss, so we already did it. Why not? And we drop on down. And please don't hit us, please don't hit us, please don't hit us, because I'm burning through all my stamina, so please don't hit us, please don't hit us, please don't hit us, please don't hit us. You missed. You didn't even come close to me. Thank you for that. That's kind of you. And we can hit that, and then we can homeward bone on out of here. Goodbye. And dropping back down. Please don't hit us into the now crumbling abyss. Wait, We can't even get up. I don't know what it is about this boss. But, it's not good. It's just my brain just turns off whenever this boss comes on. But we take that homeward bone back. And then we go in, and this one was a little strange. Because I was holding the shield button. And you can see my shield was being held up, but I still got hit and I still took damage. And it still sent me flying back as if I wasn't shielding, so that's super weird. And I don't know why it would do that. But slightly suspicious, but whatever. We just come on back. And thankfully this time it didn't smack us in with some weird nonsense. And hopefully it doesn't one-shot us with the fire attack, which it's done before, even though we had the flame stone plate ring on. But we kill him. What can I say? This boss is not good. And the bonfire kicked us up. But we killed him. And it was too late to try it, but I had thought of an idea on how to possibly save a ton of time on this boss. But again, it was too late to try it once I had thought of it, so we'll try it next time, next run, and you'll just have to see there. But Greataxe plus 15, Dragon Crest Shield plus 2, chest piece and pants of the Adventure set, Hovel's Ring, Ring of Favor and Protection, don't care about the Estus, and we beat him at level 65 with 25 Vitality, 40 Endurance, 32 Strength, 13 Dexterity, 11 Resistance, and we died once. Doing this is kind of weird for Bed of Chaos, because Bed of Chaos is unlike any other boss. Not in a good way, but moving on. After a bit of testing and popping some souls, we crank our endurance up to 45. And with that, we can now add the gauntlets, which we're still a ways away from being able to get the helmet. And pretty sure we'll have to go above 50, probably like 53 to, I don't know, maybe 57 just off the top of my head, without doing any math, but yeah. And we accidentally went to Firelink Shrine when I was trying to go to the Undead Parish, but I was here, so...
You could not be the chosen one. Enough. I shall slumber until I am awakened again.
So we accidentally came here, but we got rid of a flesh mustache. A win is a win. We take those. But with that, we actually head on off to Undead Parish. And we had gone to, like before doing that, we had gone off to the Great Hollow. And we had gotten 8 Twinkling Titanite. So I figured time to cash those in for the shield, which 59 to 61 to 63 to now 66. Which I believe Dragon Crest Shield starts off with 55, so that's 11 stability increase. But now our shield is fully upgraded, just like our Greataxe, which our armor can't be upgraded, so that doesn't really matter. But we head on back, talk to Elvina, join the Covenant again, and move on away as to not get the ring, which I just found out we could do this run. And we talked to Shiva just to click him into place. And from there, we homeward bone on back. Because now we're getting that Greataxe. And feel kind of bad for these guys, because they used to be intimidating. They weren't really difficult, but they were intimidating. And then I found out we can just parry them. And now they're kind of pushovers. I mean, yeah, we were over-leveled and overstated, to be here now, but even going through here the first time, as soon as we figured out we could parry them, it was game over. But we head on into Blight Town because Shiva's down here as a merchant. So we make our way down,
Hello.
and we say hello, skip through all the dialogue because we don't care. And Demon's Greataxe, which we don't have the stats to use it, and it's weighty, and obviously there's some stuff to unpack here, but hey now, that's rude. I was trying to make a business transaction with a random guy hanging out on the street corner. Anyways, we can use it if... Ooh. We can use it two-handed, but it's got some range. So we decided to do this kind of side-by-side comparison to check, and yeah, that's got a lot more range. And I mentioned that I had two problems with the Greataxe. One was it doesn't have good range, and the second problem is that it's slow, which this takes care of one of those problems. Now, there's also a kind of third off to the side problem, which is they're very weighty, which obviously, along with a fourth, even more off to the side problem, which is they have high stat requirements, which, as you can see, we need 14 more, like 14 more strength in order to one-hand it, which is mostly because we dumped a ton of levels into endurance. But it might be worth going after just because it's got really good range. And it's probably got really good damage too, considering that A scaling in strength. But for now, we don't have the souls, we don't have the strength, so might be worth going after in the future, but for now, the normal basic Greataxe will have to do. And we can sit on back down and head on off to Anne Orlando, because we got a few more bosses, or a few more things to do. And normally I go into the catacombs, and I get a ring, and that lets me get all buddy-buddy with Gwyndolin, but here I decided, nah, I don't feel like doing that just yet. So, we normally don't do this method, but we're doing it this run.
Thou that tarnisheth the godmother's image, I am Gwyndolin,
You sure are.
and thy transgression shall not go unpunished. Thou shalt perish in the twilight of Anne Orlando.
So, Gwyndolin is, they made a bad decision here. Because I did this purely to get them out. To get them out in the open, to stop hiding, and that is precisely what they did. Which, that's on them. I mean, we're the one who shot a person, but them coming out of hiding is on them. But take off the shield, because don't need it. And with 10 Estus, we go in, and I will let this fight play itself out. So they went down without much of a fight. I mean, that's just kind of how gimmick bosses usually are, but... Anyways, Greataxe plus 15. The entire adventure is set, except for the head. Hovel's Ring. Ring of Favor and Protection. 0 Sips to the Estus. We didn't even take damage. And we beat him at level 70 with 25 Vitality, 45 Endurance, 32 Strength, 13 Dexterity, 11 Resistance, and we beat him first try. And from here, we had a level, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep going into Endurance or move over to Strength. And so I decided I'll just put it off for now, and I'll worry about it whenever I come to a decision. So we just pull the lever and come on up, and the Firekeeper's facing the other way because the game expects you to kill Guinevere and then come down.
So it was you, was it? How dare you produce a blade upon a deity? How did you ever get this far? I shall end your suffering here and now. It is the least that I can do.
So yeah, that's based on proximity, not aggro. But it's kind of weird because she can tell that you're there because she's looking off to the side to try to keep an eye on you.
But how? This man is a threat. Master Gwyndolin.
So I thought that was pretty funny, but we got the Firekeeper's soul, and we decided that with that we can move on. Now, since we're here, we might as well finish up this area, so we head on off to the painted world of Ariamis, which we bulldoze our way through, take a sip right in front of the boss to top ourselves off, and then we come in, take off the shield, and with 9 Estus, I'll let this play itself out.
I expected as much from thee. Why?
Bosses like Priscilla are what... Like, I'm going to do a boss ranking at some point, and bosses like Priscilla are going to make that very difficult, because how the experience goes depends extremely heavily on your weapon class. Because that took, what, like 20 seconds? Whereas with the piercing swords, it took 15 minutes. And obviously, I messed up there, but still. Like, daggers, spears, stuff like that, it takes a long time. But Greataxe plus 15, Adventurer's set minus the helm, Hovel's Ring, Favor and Protection, 0 Sips to the Estus because we came in with 9. Beat him at level 70 with 25 Vitality, 45 Endurance, 32 Strength, 13 Dexterity, 11 Resistance. And we beat him first try. Which, kind of disappointing that they died that quickly, because if you can turn them invisible, she's a pretty fun boss. But you either don't get to turn her invisible because you have no poise damage, or you have enough poise damage but then she dies in like 5 hits. But we head on off to Anor Londo and head on off to the Boris section, because this is the last thing here. Which, one-handed, Greataxe bounces right off of them. But two-handed it doesn't. And we can just use movement to avoid their attacks. Pull out the shield just in case, and they die in 3 hits. Greataxe is a pretty strong weapon. And probably a pretty strong weapon class as well. But we move on, and we'll just run on through. We want to make sure that we have stamina for this boar. And they didn't even get a second attack off. Like, they got one attack that whiffed horribly, and then a second attack that just never came, honestly. So we light the bonfire, and I decided, like, we could go into vitality, but I'm a madman, so I'm gonna go into strength. Which here, you can see, we're only getting 1 level, or 1 point per level. And I remembered, oh yeah, two-handing messes, like in Dark Souls 1, two-handing messes with the numbers, which is kind of weird, but that's a big jump. I believe that's 676, which, those are some big jumps. Now, we don't need those damage increases, because our damage is already really good, but I would like to move towards the Demon's Greataxe. And I was hell-bent on kneecapping myself by having very low vitality while we go into Artorias. But after taking out all this guy's little add-ons, we decided to take out this int-build cretin, which... Ow! 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 Please! No! I'm sorry. It was rude, I know. They do so much damage. But we head on in, and in Dark Souls 3, I would have taken a greatsword to the dome there. Dark Souls 1, the pairing is a lot more lenient, I've noticed. And kinda happy for that. It is the one area where Dark Souls 1 grants leniency. So we'll take it, we'll take it. And here we move over to the Rare Ring of Sacrifice, because in this we stand in the curse to die faster. And we looked, our armor has decent magic defense, so we take that off because this is a scripted death, so it's just stand around until you die. Which, like, a scripted death, so I don't count it. If you want to, you can, but the game stacks everything against you. It expects you to die here, so I don't count it. And here, I figured, because this was very packed, we fought a ton of bosses, so I thought that this would land in my, like, 40 to 55 minute range that I've been trying to hit. And I figured getting put in jail for murdering a bunch of people and Guinevere would probably be a fitting end, but I realized we're only 33 minutes in, so we can call this a, I took a break for the day and then came back tomorrow. And, so, was gonna end here, but no, I think we're gonna finish off the rest of the Duke's Archives. So, moving on. So, we take a break, come on back, exit our cell, and then if you don't kill these guys, then you have to go up a big ladder and then fight them on this tiny little area, which we didn't want to do that, so we just killed them here. And then we come on down and laugh at the fact that we can see the shadows through the floor. Really funny to me. I don't know why. But we kill them, get the key, get everything done, and make her escape. Because they may be able to jail me for killing Guinevere on this run, but they can't hold me forever. Now I have a Greataxe. I mean, look what the Greataxe can do. That's a one-shot. That's incredible. I love strength weapons. At least in Dark Souls 1. But we head on outside, watch a Goldie hit a tree, watch a Goldie hit us, watch a Goldie do a long-range attack that sounded like it hit behind us for some reason. But that one didn't hit us, so it's fine. A little weird, but it's fine. And we progress that quest, and then we move on. Which, we did lose an Estus, we're down to just 4, but we can beat Seath with 4 Estus. Seath is not that hard. I know I died to them last run, but I've only died to them once so far, and I'm 7 runs in, so they can't be that hard. And watch this. First swing stuns him, second swing kills him. Greataxe is really strong, by the way. If you couldn't tell. It is... That felt great. Now here... we almost never have good curse resistance, so... we throw this on because Seath gives curse, which is the only frightening thing about them. Or even semi-frightening thing, but... we head on in with 4 Estus, and I will let this fight play itself out. Not entirely sure what happened there with the camera, but... anyways. We got a victory achieved. We didn't even take damage. So that's a very easy 60,000, which we'll take. And we beat Seath with the Greataxe plus 15. The adventure set except for the head. Cursebite ring. Ring of favor and protection. And 0 sips of the Estus, because we came in with 4. And we beat him at level 73 with 25 vitality, 45 endurance, 35 strength, 13 dexterity, 11 resistance. And we beat him first try. And light the bonfire. One hand, so it doesn't give us weird wonky numbers, which that's 7, that's 6. That looks like another... Look at this. That is 20 damage in 3 levels. 737 or 767. 20 damage in 3 levels. We definitely don't need it. In fact, we probably should get our vitality above 25, but damage is good. We like having high damage. Until we hit Artorias and hit a roadblock, because he's probably going to one-shot us. But that's for future us to worry about. For now, we got another 2 Lord Souls. We took out a ton of side bosses. Or at least it feels like it. We definitely took out a ton of bosses. We got another Greataxe. This has been very dense. We made a ton of progress. And it's shorter than most parts, so... And we also got the chest piece and the gauntlets, so amazing progress, and, yeah.